Okay, sir. I think we are live now. So, okay, let me check if the students are. Hello, everyone. Am I audible? Please type in chat, everyone, if you are being able to hear me properly. Okay, sir. I think we are live now. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Okay. By the way, how many of you participated in Indian Space Month Quiz Challenge? Is there anyone participated in that? If you have participated in that, just type me in the chat. Okay. Okay, nice, nice. Okay, so as you already do know, today we are having the National Space Day. If you do not know about that, it's completely fine. But because in today's session, we are just going to discuss about that only. And today we are having such a great person today. Okay, I'll just tell you in a very short because rest of the things sir is going to tell you about himself. Don't worry about that. So, sir is currently in IIT Indore and sir has done the bachelor. Currently, he's doing the research in astronomy and astrophysics. So, whatever the things you just want to do in the future, sir is doing right now. So, he'll be just going to guide you regarding National Space Day, like why we celebrate that, why it is so special for us, and what is the thing which just make 23rd of August so special about it. So, I'd just request sir to please continue the session and yes, and if you have any doubt, you can just type in the chat. Everyone, just stop spamming. Just don't do any spamming things. Just write whatever the things you have in doubt. Okay, sir will take all of your doubts. So please don't worry about that. Okay. Okay, Rohit sir, please continue. Continue the session, sir.
Yes. Hello everyone. So my name is Rohit. So I'm gonna take session today about the India journeys to the moon, and we will be like learning a lot of things, and we'll be discussing also a lot of things about India journey to the moon and what the national space day and all. So as we all know that today we are celebrating National Space Day. Does like anyone of you know why we are celebrating National Space Day? Like what is the reason behind celebrating this? Anyone has any idea regarding this? Could you please type in the chat box? Hello. So let me tell you like why we are celebrating National Space Day. So you all might have heard about the Chandrayaan 3 mission. How many of you have heard before this regarding the Chandrayaan 3rd mission? Can you type in the chat box like how many of you have heard about the Chandrayaan 3rd mission? So you might have like seen that video when like the scientists were celebrating in the headquarters. Yes, great. So some of you have heard about this mission. Yes, nice. It's great to know about that. So basically, on 23rd August in 2023, our Chandrayaan 3 mission successfully landed on the moon. So to celebrate that day, since 2023, we are celebrating this day as a National Space Day. So I'm going to start the session now. So, okay. So before that, like, what do you know about the moon? Have you heard of those? Yes, it's great to know about that. Do you know what are the satellites? Yes, great to know about that. Like many of the people are many of the people have heard about the Chandrayaan 3 mission. So, like, do you know what is a satellite? Please type in the chat box, like, if you know what is a satellite. And yes, okay. So, like, some of you have heard about the satellite. So, satellites are basically objects which revolve around the like Earth, right? Because of we got everything like internet and the the movie, the cartoon shows that you watch on the television. All of this happens because of the satellite. The Google Map that you uses on your phone. All of this is happening because of the satellites, right? Yes, yes, it's great. Like satellites are the machine which reverse information, which gives information about Earth and other things in the universe. Yes, right. So similarly, like Moon is also one of the satellites of Earth. The only difference between is that Moon is a natural satellite for us. Like rest of the satellites that you saw in the space or you saw in the television, in the news, those are all are artificial satellites. They are like made by the man, like made by they are like man-made objects. Okay. Yes, that's orbit around the space. Great. So, so I'm going to start the session by introducing some of the interesting facts about the moon. So, so the moon is like around 3,384,000 kilometers like from the Earth. The distance between moon and Earth is basically around 3,84,000 kilometers. So the time that actually light takes to travel from moon to Earth is around 1.3 second. It means in just 1.3 second, if you are like suppose like if you have a such a huge light that can travel like very very fast. So if you are like lighting a torch here, then it can like travel to moon in just 1.3 seconds. So you can just imagine like how fast the speed of the light is. And the size of moon is like comparatively like very very small, as not very very but like comparatively smaller as compared to the Earth. So it's like very small in the size. Still like we saw the size that in the space is just like very tiny, right? Okay, so let me tell you about the story, like how the actually the moon formed. So So like it's a story basically, like how the basically the moon formed. So when the solar system was forming, in solar system, like we had sun, we have other planets as well, like Mars, Venus, Earth, uh, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and other planets as well. There are some other objects like asteroids as well. So when like at the beginning of the solar system, when we had a Earth, so that time what happened is that there was a Mars sized asteroid or some other body which basically collided in Earth. And when the collision happened, a small piece of the Earth drifted apart from the Earth. Like drifted, like it basically a small piece of the Earth breaks apart and it start revolving around the Earth like that. So that was the like the how basically moon formed. And do you know one thing? Like we always saw one side of the moon. Like we do not see the other side of the moon. Do you know the reason behind it? Any one of you have any idea regarding that? Can you just type it in the chat box? Do you know like why we can only see one face of the moon? We are not able to see other face of the moon. We only see one face of the moon. Okay, so let me explain this. Yeah, I'm gonna explain that part. So suppose this is Earth and this is a moon. So how it happens is that see this is a moon. Sorry, this is Earth and this is a moon. So see, moon is like revolving like that. Earth is rotating on its axis and moon is revolving like that. So when this happens, it revolves in such a way that like you are rotating like this is Earth, you are rotating like this, moon is rotating like this. So you are only able to see this face of the moon, which is like kind of locked with Earth. We don't know what is in the back side of the moon. So the front side which we saw is known as the near side of the moon, and the back side which we saw that is known as the far side of the moon. So the interesting thing about the Chandrayaan mission is that, like Chandrayaan 2 and Chandrayaan 3 mission is that India was trying to land a satellite or a orbiter or lander in the back side of the moon or in the south pole, which is like not visible, like which is not visible from the Earth. So that was the most interesting thing about the Chandrayaan 2 and Chandrayaan 3 mission. Ki we are trying to land or land a lander or a robot in that side of the moon, which is not visible from Earth. So to send that, like it's very difficult task to do that. No, like some of you answered that sunlight does not reach on the other side of the moon. Actually, yeah, I mean, it's cold. It's kind of true as well. But the thing is that like it's rotating in such a way, like see, this is Earth and this is Moon. So it's rotating in such a way, like with Earth, like right? The Moon revolves around Earth in a 28 days, right? And it also rotates on its axis. But it's like rotate and revolve in such a way that only one face of the moon will be visible to us. We won't be able to see the other face of the moon. And that face is like very cold. Great. So the like in daytime, I mean mostly in daytime, the temperature will be like very high, and in the night time, the temperature will like fall like very less. It will be minus 173 or minus 200 degrees Celsius. Like it very like more than like freeze cold, you can say. No one is going to survive that much temperature. So now we will see some more things about the moon. Have you heard of the craters? Or how many of you have like looked into the moon through a telescope? Has anyone here like who watched the moon with a telescope? Can you type it on chat box? So whenever like you will be seeing the moon through the telescope, you will see there will be many black dots like that thing, like this kind of thing you will see. Yes, it's great. Like many people have watched the moon through a telescope. It's great to hear that. Yes. So those things that we saw, the black spots on the moon, those are known as the craters of the moon, or we can call the scars of the moon. They are formed because like see, moon does not have any atmosphere to protect it. Earth has atmosphere, and that atmosphere actually protects us from many things, like all the uh, cosmic, I mean all the radiations that come, all the asteroids and everything, that is like all these things, and Earth magnetic field also, so it basically protect us from all the things, but moon does not have any atmosphere. So all the asteroids or the small asteroids, small bodies, they basically collide on the moon, and they are basically like pressing the surface of the moon, and that is like known as the craters of the moon. In simple language, I'm just saying, ki, suppose this is a moon, something is like collided with the moon, or just like bombardment of particles on the moon, and so that's why the scars or the craters on the moon formed. So let me show you an image of like how the craters looks on the moon. So are you able to see these craters, these small holes on the moon, or these are like the small patches that you see on the moon? These are known as the craters on the moon. Are you able to see this video? So these are the basically the craters that are present on the moon. So why we are sending the missions and everything to the moon is that we are sending it to study these things, like why they are forming, how they are forming, what are the things that are present inside it, what type of minerals are there, everything. Like we are trying to understand about the moon, about the Earth also, because the Earth and moon are basically like they are one body, like many millions years ago. Moon formed because an object collided with the Earth, and something break apart from it and started revolving Earth. So if we are studying the moon, we can learn about our history as well. So that is the reason why we are trying to understand the moon, why we are sending so many satellites, so many orbiters on the moon to study it. So yeah, why is it necessary to study the moon? Can anyone have any idea regarding this? Yes, so basically, why it's necessary to study about the moons? You might have heard that one of the news, which might be in the newspaper or some new channel or anything, that India discovered water on the moon, right? Have how many of you had heard about this news? Can you type it in the chat box? Yes. So, how many of you heard about like the news that India found the Chandrayaan mission, one mission basically found the water on the moon? Yes, it's great to hear that like some of you have heard about this news that India found the water on the moon. So, see, like by sending one mission, we found that moon has like water on the moon, and that also like that was there was in Chandrayaan. I mean, we will discuss that in coming slides. Great. Yes, so I'll explain like why it's necessary to moon study the moon is that first is that we are trying to understand the moon. And since moon and earth has a common history, like many millions years ago. So if we are studying the moon, it basically means that we are also understanding about the earth as well. Third thing was that we were looking for the water. Ever since NASA sent mission to moon in 1960, like we are trying to find whether the water existed on moon or not. But Chandrayaan 1 mission was the first mission in the world that proved the existence of the water on the moon. And see, if we are sending moons, you might have heard about Elon Musk, right? How many of you have you heard about Elon Musk? He's actually planning to make like cities on the moon, bases on the moon. Is like planning to send people on the moon to live there, to work over there. Like we are trying to like make a human colony on the moon. You might have like watched some movie like where the humans are going into other planets and they are basically making their homes, doing all the works over there. Yes, so if we are like studying about the moon, if we are sending missions right now, it will also help us to prepare about our future space travel, and it will also help us to understand ourselves and about the moon as well. So now let's go to all the missions that had Earth that India sent it to the moon. We will discuss about Chandrayaan 1, 2, and 3, all of them. So coming to the Chandrayaan mission was like the first Chandrayaan mission which was launched in year 2008. And since then, we have been right now like India has sent till three Chandrayaan missions, Chandrayaan 1, 2, and 3. And we are also preparing to send Chandrayaan 4 in year maybe 2028 or 2029. So there is some interesting facts about all these missions like Chandrayaan 1, Chandrayaan 2, and Chandrayaan 3. Yes, so I was talking about the timeline of the Chandrayaan mission. So Chandrayaan mission was basically the first Chandrayaan mission which was sent. Yes, I'm repeating it again. So the first Chandrayaan mission that we sent was in the year 2008, and the second Chandrayaan mission was in year 2019, and third was in 2023. So there were some interesting facts about these Chandrayaan 1 mission, 2 and third mission. And we are also planning to send Chandrayaan 4 and 5th as well. Fourth, we are planning to send in year 2028, where we are going to land a rover on the moon surface and try to bring some soils or rock from the moon to Earth to study about it. And in the fifth Chandrayaan mission, we are collaborating with we are collaborating with Japan astronomical Japan Space Agency, and we are sending it. We are sending it again in the moon, maybe in year 2031 or 2032. There is not much information about that. So yes. So let's start with the Chandrayaan 1 mission. So Chandrayaan 1 mission was launched in the year 2008 on 22nd October from the Satish Dhawan Space Center that is situated in Andhra Pradesh, I guess. And see, this rocket which you are seeing in the left-hand side, this is the rocket which took this Chandrayaan 1 orbiter to the space. And one interesting fact about Chandrayaan 1 mission was that, okay, do you know what is orbiter and what is lander? How many of you have any idea about that? Can you type it in the chat box? So, how many of you have idea about the what is a lander and what is like orbiter? Yes. So basically, orbiter is something like it's kind of a satellite which will orbit around any planet. So suppose like this is a Earth and we have like many planets, many satellites around it, right? Like which basically revolve around it. So that is a kind of a orbiter. And lander means we are sending some object you can say on the surface of that planet. So Chandrayaan 1 mission has only orbiter. It does not have any lander on it. So yes, so Chandrayaan 1 mission has only orbiter attached to it, and it has one yes, and it has one impact probe, which is basically an instrument which basically just dropped on the surface of the moon to study about it. Like when it will hit the moon, how it is going to impact the moon surface, how the instrument will be there. It basically like to study about the surface of the moon. So in Chandrayaan 1 mission, we have one orbiter which will revolve around the moon like a satellite of the moon to collect information from the moon. Okay. So the image that you are seeing in the left hand side, this is the rocket. This is PSLV rocket of ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, which basically takes our Chandrayaan 1 to space. And this is how Chandrayaan 1 orbiters look like. You are seeing many things in this, right? This is a kind of a model of the orbiter. The blue thing which you are seeing, this is a solar plate. Am I not audible?
No, sir, you're audible, sir. Please continue.
Okay. Yeah. So the this thing, the blue thing which we are seeing, this is a solar plate, which is basically used to get energy from the sun. And these small objects that you see on this model, these are the instruments which are basically used to study the moon from by revolving it in the orbit of by revolving it in the orbit of the moon. So, yes, this is the actual image of the moon, which is basically taken by our Chandrayaan 1 mission itself. You can see how it looks like. It's a crescent moon. The black portion, this is like not visible. This portion is not getting hit by the sunlight, so this is not visible to us. So it's known as the crescent moon. And this is the moon surface, like how the moon surface looks like from the Chandrayaan 1 orbiter. These are the actual images that are taken by our Chandrayaan 1 mission orbiter, basically. So, do you know the amazing discovery which was happened by Chandrayaan 1? Any one of you have any idea regarding that? We discussed this a little bit earlier as well. Can you just type it in the chat box? What was the discovery? Yes, anyone has any idea? Okay. Yes, some of you answered correctly. Water, yes. So basically, Chandrayaan 1 mission found the presence of the water molecules on the surface of the moon. So this was the first time ever in the history of the humankind that we found water in, like, apart from Earth, anywhere in anywhere in outer space. Yes, this was a discovery by Chandrayaan 1 that we found the water molecules on the surface of the moon. Okay, so now we will move towards the Chandrayaan 2 mission. We will discuss about second mission of, second mission which was sent by India, Chandrayaan 2 mission. Yes, there is water on the moon. Yes, I mean, most of you have answered it correctly that we discovered water on the moon. It's great to hear that. So coming to Chandrayaan 2 mission, India launched Chandrayaan 2 mission on year 2019. You might have seen in the news channel where scientist was crying on the national TV, right? And like PM was consoling him, like something like that. You might have heard this on news channel or maybe watched it live on the TV. Do you know the person who is in the right side of this image of this presentation? How many of you have any idea regarding this person? Can you type its name? Can you type his name in the chat box? Please, if you have like any idea regarding this person, then please type his name in the chat box. Yes, he is Vikram Sarabhai. He is known as the father of Indian space. Yes, Vikram Sarabhai, correctly, correct. Yes. So basically, in Chandrayaan 2 mission, we have three things. Like in Chandrayaan 1 mission, we have only orbiter and we have one object, which is basically known as probe, which was used to hit the surface. But in Chandrayaan 2 mission, we have three things. First one is the orbiter, which is going to revolve around the moon. Second, we have lander, and inside it we have a rover. So that lander was named as Vikram to basically honor the contribution of Vikram Sarabhai to Indian space research and everything he contributed to Indian science as well. So to honor his contribution, ISRO named the lander as Vikram, and the rover which was basically inside the lander, that was known as Pragyan. Pragyan is a Sanskrit word which basically means wisdom or knowledge. Okay, so yes, it has one orbiter and it has one lander, which is basically known as Vikram, and inside that lander there was one rover which was known as Pragyan. So in Chandrayaan 2 mission, the main objective was that we are sending the orbiter which will be which will basically revolve around the moon, and the lander and the rover, they will land on the surface of the moon. And when the lander will land safely on the surface, it will open its gate and the rover will basically move onto the moon surface, and it will study about the moon soil, moon surface, and it will send data back to the earth. So this was how supposed mission to be look like. But there was some problem happen, and there was some problem, and you might have heard that Chandrayaan 2 mission failed. But okay, okay. Before moving that, this is like how Chandrayaan 2 missions look like. So the bottom thing that you are seeing in the left hand side, this is a orbiter, and on the top of the orbiter, Vikram lander is basically placed there, and this side has a gate. When this lander will land safely on the moon, this gate was supposed to open, and from inside we have a rover. This rover, which was basically move from that lander and move on to the moon surface to study about it. Yes, most of you answering it correctly that Chandrayaan 2 didn't have a soft landing. So soft landing basically means that it should be landed safely on the moon so that the instruments which are inside the lander, those instruments should not be those instruments should not be harmed. But we didn't. managed to land it safely over there. So, but do we really fail in this mission? So, okay. Okay, so the machines are basically, the machines here are basically, the bottom one is the orbiter, which is basically rotating in orbit of the moon. And on the top of the orbiter, we have a lander, which has a rover inside it. And this lander was supposed to land safely on the moon surface. And then the rover, which is present inside the lander, this will come out of that. This will come out of that lander, and it will move on the moon surface to study about it. So the thing is that we actually didn't fail it completely. So the orbiter is still working fine. The orbiter that we send to the Chandrayaan 2 mission, it's still working fine and it's still sending all the data back to our ISRO. But our lander that didn't land safely on the moon, when it was around 2.1 kilometer from the moon surface, we lost contact to it. So we don't know what happened to it that time. And the point where it crashed, that point is known as Tiranga point. Yes, so this was basically about the Chandrayaan 2 mission. Now we will move to the Chandrayaan 3 mission. So I guess most of you have heard about this mission because this mission was the very recent mission, right? How many of you have heard about this mission in Chandrayaan 3 mission? This is the most recent mission which was launched by ISRO. It was just launched in 2023. Can you type it in the chat box? Like how many of you have heard about this mission? Yes, it's great. Yes, it's great to know that some of you have heard about this mission. Yes, most of the people have heard about the Chandrayaan 3 mission. So in Chandrayaan 2 mission, as we discussed that we were not able to land safely on the moon. Our lander basically failed. So we again tried it into the Chandrayaan 3 mission. And after the failure of second mission, you can say partially successful mission, we again tried after 4 months, 4 years again. After 4 years, we again tried it. And this time we landed safely on the moon. We did soft landing on the moon surface, and our landers landed safely, and the rovers also walked on the surface of the moon, and it collected information from the moon surface and all. So Chandrayaan 3 mission has only two things. It has one lander and it has one rover. This time we didn't send any orbiter with it. So the point where it landed, that is known as Shiv Shakti point, and I'm going to show you the image as well, how it looks like. So the thing is that the lander, when it will land on the moon, it can't communicate with us directly. It needs some intermediate point to connect with us. But since the Chandrayaan 3 mission does not have any orbiter, so how it's going to connect? Like how it's going to connect with us, like when it will land safely on the moon. So to solve that problem, since you remember we have sent one orbiter with Chandrayaan 2 mission, even though our lander didn't land successfully, the orbiter was still working fine in the orbit. So we used orbiter of Chandrayaan 2 mission to communicate with Vikram, with the lander that is present on the moon surface. So how the communication was happening is that we are sending some information to the orbiter. We are sending, this is like moon, and the orbiter is basically revolving around the moon. So from the earth we are sending information to this orbiter, and this orbiter was communicating to this lander. And when lander has to send some information back to us, the lander will send information to orbiter, which is moving around the moon, and that orbiter will send information back to us. So this is basically how communication was happening in this case. So in July 2023, India launched a third mission. India launched Chandrayaan 3 mission, and this time we achieved to land successfully on the moon surface. So this was the rocket LMV3. This is known as LVM3 rocket, which basically takes our Chandrayaan 3 lander into the space. And the image which you are seeing in the right side, this is the path which was basically which rovers actually walks on it. So let me tell you one interesting fact. How many of you know that moon does not have any atmosphere? Can you type it in the chat box? Okay, so imagine like if you are on the earth, okay, and you go on a beach or near the river, and on the beach or on the water, I mean on the soil, you make some signs or like you might have seen that people go into the beach and build sand fort and everything like that, right? But most of the time it will like fall apart after some time, right? Okay, yes. So let me tell you one interesting thing that moon does not have any atmosphere. So the path that this rover traced on the moon surface that will be going forever. Even if you are going into the moon and let's say you have a shoe, okay, and you just put even if you are putting your hand like this on the moon surface, so there will be print of your hand, right? So that will be forever. If you are not erasing it, it will remain forever because moon does not have any atmosphere to erode it. So the things which we are seeing, the path which was basically which our rover moves on the moon surface, that will be going like that will remain forever. There won't be any like it will basically not erase any time. This will remain till infinity. You can say like till the time moon will be there, this path will be there. So now let me show you some of the images of the which were basically taken from our lander. So this is how our rovers look like. This image was taken by a lander when rover was basically started descending on the moon surface. So that time this image was taken by our lander which was present on the moon surface. And this is the point where our landed successfully. This point is known as Shiv Shakti point, which is present on the moon. Like this point was basically named by ISRO itself. So this point is known as Shiv Shakti point, and the point where our Chandrayaan 2 lander didn't like it crashed. That point was known as Tiranga point. Yes. Okay. Now let me show you. Okay, one interesting fact is that India was the first country who landed successfully on the moon south pole. After India, even like China tried it well as well during the same period, but they didn't manage to land successfully on the moon. Let me show you one video. Okay, so have you done one kind of experiment in your? Can you do one experiment right now? So have you tried this thing like in your maybe in your childhood that you took a stone or a ball and tied it with uh, a thread or a rope or something like that and start moving like this. So imagine like when you keep moving like this and when you will release that stone, you will see that that stone will travel a lot more distance, right? Has anyone tried this? Can you guys type into the chat box? How many of you have like tried this kind of play in your childhood? You can even do it now. Like it's not a like big task, but you just have to take one thread or one rope, tie a ball or a stone in that rope, and keep moving like that, and then release it. Instead of directly throwing it, you will see that when you are doing like that, it will go more farther, and like you have to spend less amount of the energy in that case. Yeah, it's great. Like some of you have done this thing, right? Yes. Yeah, so you might have heard this thing that, I mean, maybe in news or news channel, that NASA missions actually just reached moon in 3 days, while the mission which was sent by India, Chandrayaan mission, they are taking around 1 month or 40 days to reach the moon. That's because, see, we have like budget constraint. We were doing it in very cost effective manner. We can't spend much money on this because we don't have like, I mean, basically, ISRO has like limited budget. So ISRO has to work on the same budget frame, right? So to tackle that thing, ISRO so we basically took the advantage of this thing. So instead of directly sending satellite from this is a the blue dot you are seeing. This is a Earth, and the green orbit which we are seeing, that is a moon orbit. So instead of directly sending satellite from Earth towards the moon, we took yes, so we took advantage of the fact that when we are like we took the advantage of the Earth's gravity basically. So what we did was that we put our orbiter or lander into the Earth orbit, and we will keep moving around the Earth so that its orbit size increases. It will go straight from the relative point. Okay, great. So yes, I mean, we were taking like many orbits. I guess I don't know exactly the number of the orbit, but the orbiter basically keep moving around the Earth, and when the moon reaches nearby to the Earth, it drifted apart from the Earth and goes into the moon gravity. So this is basically how, I mean, this was the orbit of Chandrayaan 3 mission, how Chandrayaan 3 mission goes into the moon's orbit. You can try that experiment in your home as well. Or you might have seen this game, hammer throw or discus throw in Olympics. Great. So do you know what about the Chandrayaan 4 mission? Has anyone have any idea regarding this mission? Yes. So in Chandrayaan 4 mission, basically that will be launched in 2028, maybe in coming 2 or 3 years. So this time, what we are doing is that we are again sending a lander and a rover into moon surface, and this time we are going to bring back moon soil or rock to the Earth, so that we can study in our labs, so that ISRO scientists which who are working on this, they can study about it and they can like gain more knowledge from it. And there will be one Chandrayaan 5 mission as well. That will be, the year is not decided yet, but that is like joint operation or joint mission between India and then ISRO and Japan Space Agency. So now it's time for the question answer. So how many of you like want to go into the space? If you have any questions or anything, just type in the chat box and I will try to answer that. It's great, like everyone wants to go into the space. Put your questions in the chat box and I will try to answer all the questions. So, yeah, nice. So many people actually wanted to go into space and they wanted to join ISRO as well. Okay, so the difference between lander and rover. Okay, yeah. So lander is a kind of a box you can imagine. Imagine this is your airport, right? And inside the earpod, this is a earpod case, and inside the earpod, which have this earpods, right? So imagine this whole thing is a lander, which will land safely on the moon surface. And once it will land safely, it will open, the gates will open, and the rover which is present inside the lander, they will come out and they will move on to the moon surface. So that is the difference between lander and the rover. Yes, the orbiter from Chandrayaan 2 is still working. Yes, it's possible because see, orbiter is present in the orbit of the moon. It didn't crash. Like it is still like revolving around the moon because of the moon's gravity. Like you know how the satellites actually keep moving around the Earth because Earth has gravity, right? Similarly, moon has also gravity, but the difference is that moon gravity is less than Earth gravity, but still it has some gravity. So because of that, the orbiter that we put into the moon's orbit, it is still revolving around the moon. And since the instruments are still working, it's still sending data back to us. Why universe black in color? Okay, so see, universe is black in color because see how you see something. Okay, if you are seeing a plant is a green or my shirt is orange, because that object is scattering that light, right? We are seeing plant green because the white light, see, sunlight is not a yellow light. We see sunlight is a yellow, but it's a white light. So when that light will fall on the plant will absorb all the light. Have you seen the rainbow? Right? So in rainbow, there are seven colors, right? Similarly, white light is also made up of seven colors. And when that white light will fall on any object, it will emit light, like it will absorb all the light and it will emit one light. So plant is like emitting green light. So that's why we are seeing plant as a green. But since our space is almost empty, there is nothing in the space. Even the things are there, we are like very, very far from each other. So it's almost empty. That's why it's like black in color. How do we get data from Chandrayaan 2 orbiter? So, see, a Chandrayaan 2 orbiter has like many scientific instruments on it, which are known as payload. So, all the instruments they are working and they are sending data back to us. And here we have receivers on the radar system is there, and some other systems as well, which basically takes that information and converts into a language which can be understood by humans. I mean, which can be easily understood by us. How do we connect with the orbiter? Yes, so we have like receiver here and we have transmitter. Okay, so uh, have you tried that remote control car, right? So in remote control car, you control the car with the remote. I mean with a remote, right? So remote has a transmitter and a receiver. So when you do some activity on the remote, let's say if you are telling your car to move in the left direction, so you will press left direction. So that thing will be fed into your car system or car software and it will move into the left direction, right? Similarly, the same thing is being like done here as well. So we have a transmitter and receiver kind of thing here. So we are giving information to the orbiter to like we are giving information to the orbiter to point it instrument into one direction or to point orbiter instrument into one of the craters of the moon which we want to study. So this is basically how informations are like transferred and how we get information from there. Why do we see sunlight as a yellow color? See, sunlight is actually completely white. When you go into space, you will see it's a completely white. But when it comes into the Earth's surface, so sunlight is made up of seven colors, and these seven colors is basically the colors of the rainbow: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. So there is a concept which is known as wavelength. So yeah, so basically, all the lights, I mean, basically the yellow lights actually get scattered more when it enters into our atmosphere. The dust particles that are present in our atmosphere, or the small air molecules, water vapor, all the molecules that are present, they will emit. They will basically white light will fall on them, and it will get scattered into random directions, right? So the yellow light, I mean, out of all the seven light, yellow light is get scattered more. That's the reason why we are seeing sunlight as a yellow color instead of a white. How many orbiters are there? Okay, so we have two orbiters. The first one which we sent with Chandrayaan 1, but that stopped working after year 2009. It worked for around 300 days, and then it stopped working. We were not able to establish contact with it. Right now, Chandrayaan 2 mission and Chandrayaan 2 mission is still working. Okay, so I'm going to give you a task to write an article about our all the Chandrayaan mission and about the National Space Week, and submit that article in your Google Classroom. And in that, explain everything which we have learned in this session, and try to uh, write about like why we are celebrating National Space Week, about all the Chandrayaan mission and everything. How craters are formed in the moon. See, I explained that since moon does not have any atmosphere to protect it, its magnetic field is also not that much strong. So all the asteroids or all the like particles that are present in the space, they are basically colliding with the moon surface, and because of that, the craters actually got formed. The probe of Chandrayaan is on the surface of the moon. Yes, it's still, I mean, it's still present on the moon because we can't take it back, even though it stopped working after 15 days, but still it's present on the surface of the moon. It's great to hear that like many of you want to be an astronaut. From where does this mission happen? This mission was, I mean, all the Chandrayaan missions was launched from Satish Dhawan Center, which is present in Andhra Pradesh, I guess. From there, we are launching satellites and everything to the space. I want to see water on Venus. uh, Venus is actually very near to the sun, so there is no water on it. It's like completely gas. I mean, its surface there is like too much temperature, maybe around 200 degrees Celsius. So there is no chance of water to present in liquid form over there. What is the reason behind naming moon? Uh, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know this question. What is the reason behind naming moon as a moon? Moon is just like a satellite, and moon is a natural satellite for us. That's it. Will orbiters come back? No, they can't come back. They will like keep orbiting it, and yeah, we can't get them back to the Earth. So everyone, I'm telling you again, please write an article on the National Space Day on the Chandrayaan program and submit it into the global classroom. This is your task for this. Ish. What is seaport discovery? We have not yet sent Chandrayaan 4 mission that will be launched in year 2028. And the main purpose of Chandrayaan 4 mission is to take samples from the moon surface and bring it back to the Earth. Venus is very hot, like it's around 200 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius, something like that. The temperature is very hot. Okay, so everyone, we are winding up the session. I hope every one of you enjoyed the session, and the task which was given, please complete it and submit it to the Google Classroom. So bye bye everyone, and yeah, hopefully I hope you enjoyed the session. And please don't forget to submit your task, write an article about the Chandrayaan mission and about the National Space Day, and submit it in your Google Classroom.